10 tips to sexually please your wife, coming right up. What's going on, everybody? Dorian here from Not Easily Broken. On our YouTube channel, we are all about helping you to build stronger marriages and relationships. Please also like and share this video. When you like and share this video, you help us to grow our channel. Let's get right into it. Guys, sex is great for marriage. As a matter of fact, marriage was the boundary that God created to protect it. It is that serious. It is that important to God. It is absolutely one of the most important things that a wife and husband can ever do. It is one of the things that you're not supposed to share with anyone else. Yeah, you can share your money. You can give a little bit of food here and there. You can share your clothes with somebody else. But sex, no. It's exclusive between the husband and the wife. But sex is not just about you. Sex is about the two of you. And unfortunately, both husband and wife at times do not enjoy sex. This video is really speaking to the husband. And I'm going to be talking to you about 10 ways that you can sexually please your wife. And if you practice these 10 things, it will help you to develop a better sex life with your wife. The truth be told, there are a lot of wives that are sexually deprived. There's a lot of wives that are not enjoying their spouse sexually. And it's not because they have a medical problem. It is just because sometimes husband doesn't take the time to understand the little details. What is important to her and what helps to drive her sexuality. If you don't know these things, oftentimes you're going to miss the mark. And so we want to talk about these 10 things. And I believe these 10 areas is critical to a wonderful sexual encounter with your wife. So let's get right into those 10 things. Number 1, preparation. Preparation is very important to have a wonderful and amazing sexual encounter with your wife. First of all, let me just say this, that I do believe in spontaneity. I believe in being spontaneous. I believe in not necessarily have everything figured out and planned and you put everything in perspective of what you want to do. But I also believe that sex is something that you also prepare for. We talk about the 5 P's of life. It goes for anything, and it also goes for sex. 5 P's of life is proper planning, prevent poor performance. I'm going to say it again. Proper planning, prevent poor performance. You will never be ready for anything that you're not really prepared for. And I believe that sex is one of those things that you're prepared for. It is not something that you get out of the way. It is important. It builds a bond. It creates a oneness. It allows you and your spouse to build something very special, something very sexual, something very intimate. It builds relationship. It builds closeness. It brings the two of you together. And so you must take time to prepare yourself for a great sexual encounter. Number 2, foreplay. Foreplay is extremely important during lovemaking. Especially for your wife. It is absolutely golden. For most women that are getting a little bit older, it often takes them a longer time for their body to respond sexually. And what foreplay does, it helps to set the mood before sex. That's why it's called foreplay, before sex. Foreplay is extremely important. When a woman is aging, her body does not produce secretion as fast as she used to when she was much younger. And so it now takes time for her to get ready. It doesn't often work like that. It is said that a man is like a light switch. You flick him on and he's ready to go. A woman is like a slow cooker. She's like an iron. You have to plug her in and let her warm up. You cannot just become so excited as soon as you know it's time for a sexual encounter with your wife. You got to spend time to get her body ready to receive you. That's one of the reasons why most time in the older years of a relationship, of a marriage, you realize that they have to use KY gel to lubricate themselves because their body does not produce that secretion like it used to. So guys, foreplay is absolutely important to your wife. And so guys, if you're not playing with her body, if you're not touching her, if you're not kissing on her, if you're not allowing her to feel like you're into her before the sexual encounter, it's going to take her a longer time for her body to warm up and be ready for you. Foreplay is telling your wife, I am interested in you. I'm attracted to you. I want to explore your body. That's what foreplay really is. So play around a little bit before sex. That's what foreplay is. Play around before sex. Number 3, know her sexual language. Every woman has a sexual language. Every woman knows what drives their sexuality. Every woman has a rhythm. Every wife has a specific rhythm that they like sexually. Your job as a husband is to find out what that rhythm is and learn to bring her sexually on that dance floor and get into that sexual rhythm with her. Because when you give her that which she desires, it brings her closer to you sexually. She becomes magnetized by the very thing that you do. And it gets her in the mood. It gets her into that space where she desires to be with you. So yes, know what her sexual rhythm is. Get to know her sexual language and communicate it with her and to her regularly. Number 4, sex does not start in the bedroom. Most husbands fail miserable in this area. And do you know why? Because most of the time, husbands only pay attention to their wives when they need sex. If the only time you're paying attention to your wife is when she's laying on her back, you've absolutely missed the point of what intimacy and affection, romance really is. Sex for your wife is more about her emotional, her mental, her physical, and her spiritual well-being. How do you treat your wife during the day? Does she feel comfortable in the relationship? Do you make her feel important to you? If you wait until bedtime to show your wife that you are interested in her, you've already missed it. Husband just need a place to have sex. Your wife need a reason to want to have sex because sex is wired to her brain. And so how you treat her, how you prepare her, how you pay attention to her will determine her level of sexuality, her level of intimacy that you want to have with you. Number 5, intimacy and affection. Intimacy and affection is critical to your wife's sexuality. It is critical to her sexual language. If she does not get affection and intimacy, sex can be very difficult for her. Intimacy is about seeing her on a deeper level. See, you can be sexual and not intimate. And you can also be intimate and not sexual. But when you combine the two together with a person that you love, it put them in a different space, in a different mindset, a different thought process, different attitude. When you slow down the word intimacy, you get into me, you see. Into me, you see. So intimacy, it's about knowing your spouse on a deeper level. It is about seeing her more than just a sex object. It's about seeing the value in her and allow yourself to demonstrate your love for her on a lot of different levels outside of the bedroom. That's what true intimacy is really about. Number 6, great sex with your wife is not about penile penetration. It's not about penetration. That's important. As a matter of fact, that is more beneficial to you than it is for her. And most wives will tell you, maybe they're afraid to tell you because they don't want to hurt your ego, but let me tell you this, husband, if you really want to allow your wife to enjoy sex, don't think just about deep penetration. Here is the reason why. Deep penetration is not the most sensitive area of the woman's sexual desire. It's not the most sensitive area of her sexual organ. To be honest with you, most men miss the mark when they focus on that area of sexual encounter. I want to challenge you. that before you go deep, I want you to understand that there is a part of her body that absolutely is longing for you to touch. It's longing for you to pay close attention to it. A matter of fact, this little organ, this part of the vagina, it's not in the vagina, but it is a part of it. It is one of the most sensitive part of the woman. To be honest with you, if you really pay attention to it and you get to know it, it has over 8,000 nerve endings. Can you believe that? That one little organ, that one little part of the woman vagina, it has over 8,000 nerve ending, which means that it's one of the most sensitive part of her body. I want to challenge you to become very acquainted with it. I want to challenge you to have a great relationship with it. I want to challenge you to become very friendly to it. Because when you do, you will take her love and her intimacy, her sex drive to another level. It is said that most men miss this part. That is the reason why most women never reach orgasmic explosion. Because men also focus on how hard and how deep they can immerse themselves into their wives, that they don't realize that this is a very area of interest to her. As a matter of fact, the only reason why God created it, it was for sexual pleasure. That's it. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. If you focus on this area, touch it, massage it, kiss it, do whatever you want to do with it. That's your wife. It's your personal business. But whatever you do, do not ignore it. Because if you do, you are not doing any justice to a higher level of intimate explosion that you're expecting your wife to get to. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I don't know what happened to some of these brothers. Why you are so rushed to go deep. Don't think about deep sea diving. Most wives will tell you that that's not what brings them to ecstasy. To be honest with you, penetration is not always the most sensual way for a woman to reach orgasmic explosion. It is for you to pay attention to that specific area. I'm looking in the camera because I want you to understand this. Please, you gotta focus on your wife also, not just on yourself. Whew. Man, come on, brothers. Husband, what are you thinking about? That's why most wives, they fake orgasm, because they don't want you to feel bad. Because as you get in, boom, most of y'all just pop off like that. Leave her high and dry. No, the high and dry season is over. This is the key spot. That's the money spot right there. That's the spot you need to focus on. And if you do that a little bit more often, I guarantee you, she want to come home and she want to rock your world. Because she knows that you're putting her sex life and her sexual desire at the highest level of interest. Go ahead. Go make fun. Go have some fun with it. Get to know it a little bit better. And a matter of fact, sometimes you need to let her take the lead in the bedroom. You don't. Let me leave that alone. Let's move on. Number 7, get to know her body. I tell husbands this all the time, for God's sake. Your wife knows more about her body than you do. Get to know her body. Ask her about things that she likes sexually. Ask her about the sexual position that is more favorable to her. Ask her about things that she desires sexually. When you get to know her body, you will learn how to treat her body better. I've learned this a long time that, listen, if I'm having a sexual encounter with my wife and she said, baby, slow down, I'm slowing down. There's a reason why she's telling me to slow down. And if she say, go a little bit faster, there's a reason why she's telling you to go faster. If she say go hard, then you go hard. But she knows what she wants. Give her the opportunity and the permission to dictate and determine what she wants sexually. That's why understanding and knowing her body is so important. Get to know her. Number 8, erogenous zone. There are areas of your wife's body that if you touch those areas, it will drive her crazy. They are called erogenous zones. Erogenous zones are a very sensitive area, like the back of the neck. Oh, you know, when you grab her and you pull her in towards you and you kiss her in the back of the neck. There are so many different areas of your wife's body. Her nipples are also very sensitive. Hold them, touch them, kiss them. Make her feel like she is so important to you sexually. These erogenous zones are areas that are very sensitive to touch. And when you touch her and when you pay attention to these areas, it will heighten her sex drive. It will elevate her desire sexually. It will put her in the mood for love. So find out where these erogenous zones are and practice touching them. Touch is a very powerful way of making love. Start touching. Feel for it, baby. You gotta touch. God has given you the spirit of touch. Touch. Lay hands on her. Let's move on. Number 9, vulnerability. Vulnerability is very important to your wife. In order for her to be sexual, she needs to feel vulnerable. There is no sexuality, there's no intimacy without vulnerability. As a matter of fact, vulnerability and intimacy goes through the same door. They are living in the same apartment. You cannot have one without the other. It is important for husband to take the time to make your wife feel safe sexually. She must feel comfortable to take off her clothes. It doesn't matter what size she is. Your job is to help her to feel confident within herself. When a woman feels confident within herself based on the fact that her man edifies and praise her and affirm her and make her feel like she is the queen that she is, she will be so much more comfortable in being naked and not ashamed. In Genesis chapter 2 and verse 25, the Bible said that the man and the woman, the husband and the wife, they were naked and they were not ashamed. You must make it your business, make it your duty to allow your wife to be vulnerable. Vulnerability means that you can protect her. She feels safe with you. She can be naked and she can be herself until she can get to that place where when she takes her clothes off, she doesn't feel like she's unattractive or she doesn't feel like she's not beautiful. Your job is to reinforce her beauty, reinforce her sexuality, reinforce her attractiveness. And when you do that, OMG moment is about to happen. Let's move on. And finally, number 10, ladies before gentlemen. Guys, husband, listen to me. Ladies come first. That's the law. Ladies comes first. Ladies before gentlemen. I am tired of telling men that you need to stop rushing this thing that's called sex and you need to pay attention and be patient with your wife. Your job is to get her there first. You guys, some of y'all are always missing the mark. Some of you guys are always dropping the ball. And you know what? You think that you're probably some of the best lover. Well, I'm here to tell you that when your wife is with her girlfriend or when she's in those, wives meetings and wives clubs and wives this and wives that, when they talk about y'all, you will be surprised some of the things that they're saying. Do you know that about like 30% of women fake orgasm? Listen, ladies before gentlemen, if you pay attention to all the little details before your deep penetration, if you spend time to get to know her body, you spend time to do foreplay, you spend time to make your proper preparation, I'm here to tell you that if she doesn't have a medical problem, she should not be missing the mark so often. If she is, then it means that you, my friend, is not doing what you're supposed to do. Love making is a beautiful thing. It's an art. I've often maintained that my wife is a canvas and I'm an artist. And when I get my brush and my paint, I am going to paint something beautiful. The reason why they call it love making, because every time that you get together, you're supposed to be creating something beautiful. Listen to me, husband, please, for God's sake. It is time to let your wife come first. Let her have that cataclysmic, orgasmic explosion. You can bring her there. But in order to bring her there, you need to know her body. You need to know what to do. And so this is 10 tips to help you to get that fire back into the bedroom. And how are you going to do it? You're going to do it by becoming a master at practicing the art of making love. Yes, you are an artist, and it's time for you to start painting a picture that is absolutely beautiful. And how are you going to do that? By paying attention to your subject, and that subject is your wife. Guys, that's it for this video. I hope that you were blessed by the content that I share with you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please like and share this video. And I can't wait to see you in the next one.